time to talk.
It's time to talk.
It's time to talk.
It's time to talk.
It is week number 3 of the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, and we are live from the virtual Phoenix International Raceway. Welcome in here tonight on a Tuesday night to Green Flag TV and our coverage for the Mars Mid-Atlantic Racing Series Cup Series. I am Derek Watson, joined tonight by Sheldon Atkins, Dustin Allis, pushing the buttons, making us look and sound good down in the production truck. Well, here we are, Sheldon. I guess it's a rare trip to Phoenix this time of the month of February, because it feels like everyone else is at Daytona, but we get to be here at Phoenix, and a very unique racetrack here for these cars tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that's going to be most prevalent here tonight is going to be that dog leg. I mean, we talk about it every time we come here. You can make up a little bit of time here on the long runs, cutting down under there. It's just a question of how low are you willing to take it. And on the restarts especially, you're going to see guys cut all the way down just about to the inside wall into the corners so they can find a way to make it stick. So that also sets for an opportunity for a lot of surprise incidents to pop along. Going to be really interesting to see how the next-gen car handles it this year.
You see on your screen here, we're now technically our fourth race, our third points-paying race of the season here at Phoenix. We see, I guess now this would be 3 different winners. Wesley Triplett won the preseason race. Josh Grosso won at Daytona. Corey Crowell won last week in Vegas, and forgot to update that apparently. And now we're here at Phoenix. Up next, is Homestead, Echo Park, Talladega, Kansas, Darlington, and Charlotte. So, boy, Sheldon, if you are I guess if you think yourself as a super speedway specialist, you got 1, 2, technically 3 of them on the upcoming 5 or 6 weeks.
Got a lot of opportunity for these guys to equalize themselves. One thing that I'm noticing is we are on the 3rd week of the season, technically 4th, and it's been across the board. It's been surprise winners. I don't think anybody had Josh pegged for the Daytona win, and I know nobody had Corey Crowell getting the job done last week on fuel mileage, but sure enough, he was able to get it done in the desert. So let's see if that trend continues this week.
I'd agree with that. And here's the points. Corey Crowell, of course, leads the points after his win last week. Josh Grosso, your Daytona winner, comes in second. And then Barbara Gallo and Flack, are tied for third. So I meant to say there. And then Wyatt Walker back in P5. And it's Hernandez, McKinney, Bogoski, Nance, and Kane in your top 10. But so early in the season, it's almost really hard to see them. These will look very different, of course, before the season ends a long time from now. Well, speaking of also getting it done, let's get something else done. Let's get you information on who's helping present our coverage tonight of the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. We'll start with Admin Box. Admin Box is a purpose-built hardware tool designed to simplify race control for iRacing League admins. Rather than typing commands or relying on complex key bindings, Admin Box offers a physical button box that connects via USB with pre-programmed commands tailored specifically for race management tasks. Its backlit buttons are LED and they feature visibility, and they also make it ideal for fast-paced and high-pressure race environments. In essence, it transforms asynchronous typing into quick, tactile control, allowing you to trigger cautions, manage drivers, handle pit commands, and even more, all with the press of a button. Please head over to www.adminbox.com. When purchasing, you can use the code MARS-BOX, it's MARS-BOXX, for 10% off all orders. And please check out what they have to offer. Again, it's adminbox.com and then Mars-Box, BOXX, for your discount code. We also want to thank 4 Mile Media and Design. You know, 4 Mile provides professional creative services tailored to the racing community, such as custom paint schemes and graphics, race winner overlays and event graphics, and even video clipping and editing. At 4 Mile, we make your racing moments look as sharp off the track as they do on the track. Please head over to 4mile.net. That's www.4mile.net, and you can use Mars15 for your discount code. Well, Sheldon, here we are in this 10-minute qualifying period. About 2 minutes left. Still a couple cars on track. About, 20 cars have set a qualifying time so far, but that's not abnormal for the series. These guys like to wait till the very last minute to put those times in.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now up at the top of the board, the 76 machine of Caleb McKinney with a rocket lap, 10th up over second place Joshua Grosso. And when I think of this place, I think of a guy like McKinney, somebody that's really good on the long run. I feel like he might have a great opportunity here tonight to get the job done in Phoenix. How about you? Who you got?
Yeah, that's a good pick as well. I mean, McKinney is a great pick. You know, I'm curious to see if maybe Wesley Triplett finds his way back to the front. He won that preseason race and has shown some great moments throughout this league and other leagues here on Green Flag TV. Let's wait for that here and see how that all wraps up. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're just about ready to take a look at tonight's starting grid and see who did take the pole. And that's going to be Caleb McKinney in the number 76 car. He'll be out there in a 26.247. He'll be next to Joshua Grosso, the Daytona winner, over in P2. P3 is the number 5 car, Brandon Puffenbarger, and he's next to Brandon Bogoski in the number 44. P5 is Wesley Triplett in 74. He's next to the white and pink machine of Matt Fornes. P7 is Wyatt Walker in a new look this week in the 71. He'll be next to the 8 of Jonathan Nance. Back in P9, you'll find Brian White in the 18 at Monster Energy machine, and he's next to the Boeing machine of Angel Hernandez.
Rolling off the grid, P11 going to be the 9 machine of Ryan Fleck with Zachary Beekman up top in 12th. 13th place, the 54 machine of Chance Manning ready to crawl through the field with Austin Collins to the outside in the 3 machine. 15th place going to be Dominic Barbagallo with Dennis Kane in the 99. They're going to be followed in 17th place by Nicholas Ammons and Ed Brown in the 21 machine. 19th place on the grid going to be Wayne Garland, and rounding out the top 20 is going to be Ryan Walker in the 98 machine.
Going to be back into P21. These are people who did not turn the time. So it's going to be Justin Barkley, Wesley Peebles, Austin Smith, Joshua Neal, Nicholas Barton, John Walker, and Michael Gervey to round out a 27 car field. That's a look top to bottom at tonight's starting grid. Well, the cars are now lined up here on pit road, getting ready to pull off here. And Sheldon, with these Cup cars, we're doing a decent amount of laps tonight at Phoenix. We're going to do 130 laps around the track. What are your keys to victory?
Oh, the key to victory is basically just going to be, number one is just you're going to want to be aggressive this first couple laps after the initial start and the restarts, because that window of opportunities to get past people before the dirty air really starts to take hold, it feels like it closes really fast at Phoenix compared to other tracks. Second off, it's going to be all about strategy and prioritizing track position with strategy. You're going to see a lot of crazy 2-tire calls or no-tire calls once we get later, especially if we get those opportunistic cautions to close it out. And then finally, you just want to be careful getting over that dog leg, because these next-gen cars, riding as low to the ground as they are, you set yourself up with the opportunity to possibly drag the rakes on the rear diffuser. And you do that, you're basically hydroplaning around here, and that's something you definitely don't want to do.
I would agree with all that. And you mentioned tires and grip. There's going to be plenty of grip, I think, in the track tonight. Looking at 85 degrees Fahrenheit here. And it's 9:07 p.m. virtual sim time, so fairly late in the night here at Phoenix. That'd make it about, midnight East Coast time and virtual sim time. But a very cool 85 degrees means there should be plenty of grip in these corners.
As a stark contrast to what I had the opportunity to cover last night. It was next-gen cars at Atlanta, the track temp. Anyone want to take a guess?
120 plus, probably.
145 degrees is what it peaked at, and you can imagine how treacherous the restart zones were as we see the pace car take the early dive down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, possibly the longest drive on any oval the drivers will make without a pace car in front of them happens here at Phoenix. This is the old start-finish line, but that's now, of course, been moved around and flipped around, and we'll wait this long drive around. We mentioned restart zones and everything else. Caleb McKinney will inch his way towards that with Josh Grosso to the outside. They'll get up here in the restart zone. They'll wait for Barney the flagman, and the green flag is out at Phoenix. Oh boy, look at them, almost 2-3 wide up there, up on the banking of the oval. I saw one car way on the bottom, and here they come down the backstreet, wrecking pretty quickly. Cars around Sheldon, and caution is out.
Yeah, I was hoping they're going to play nice with each other, but it's kind of classic Phoenix. Everybody tries to stuff the cars into turn one, and eventually someone somewhere along the line draws the short end of the stick.
Well, that's going to be the 98 who's going to get a late run in. That's Ryan Walker in the black and red machine we're looking at there. Had some damage. Not the only one. There was one car that really went spinning around on the back straight. Was that the 19, I think, of Zach Beekman, I think it was? So
yeah.
Plenty of damage to look at in the replays here in just a second.
I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to assume that he maybe just got to that throttle a little too quick for the cold tires. Let's get a look at the replay here. Big wiggle, and yeah, it's exactly what it is. No contact with anybody. Just car swaps ends on him.
Yeah, the contact all comes after the spin, of course. But Zach Beekman has claimed fault for it, and then we'll take the end of line penalty. And I'm sure the bigger penalty would be all the damage to that race car on lap 1 here at Phoenix. Well, that's going to happen. It's almost not surprising, and in fact, watch this here. Just comes off the banking. I mean, this lost it. Maybe a little too happy on the gas.
Yeah, it's pretty classic here at Phoenix. Turn, a lot of people set the cars up for 3 and 4 where it's a little bit tighter. So they are really on the edge through 1 and 2, and on those cold tires especially, it's very easy to bite off a little more than you can chew in this car.
Watch it one more time. There's Beekman, and then
yeah,
Ryan Walker just trying to overcorrect, I think, and just found the wall all by himself.
Tried to miss the wreck, put a little bit too much left wheel in it, hooked the left rear suspension up, but he tried to straighten her out, and long for the ride at that point. I've done that a few times here on these flat tracks.
Watch this view from Dennis Kane. Watch this can happen here. Oh, there's a little bit of contact in the wall, and I think that car might be honestly be the most damaged of anyone we've seen so far. We'll take a look. Yeah, there's Dennis Kane on pit road with the number 99, and sitting there for a while. So I think that might be right. He must have the most damage because that car's not moving.
Yeah, I mean, you saw how big of an impact that he took there. The car lifting the right side up into the air. You can imagine there's a strong amount of underbody and suspension damage to that machine.
All right, well, I guess somebody would say I did it, and he did. That's why Zach Beekman went to the back of the line. But here we go, 1 to go. And the drivers have chosen their appropriate lanes. It's now Caleb McKinney to the inside, Brandon Puffenbarger to the outside. We come down this long back straight here. And I think this is the ultimate test of patience right here, Sheldon, to keep your foot just gentle and not jump this. Remember, before iRacing implemented the restart zone, you could kind of go right there and get a big jump in your competitors. But here we go now around 3 and 4. Green flag is out. Back again.
And good clean launch for the 76 machine and McKinney. You see him separate himself from the field. The rest of the guys fanning out almost 3 wide down here through the dog leg into 1 and 2.
All seems good so far. Oh, no, never mind. There's one around. And we're cautioned again. And single car. Josh Neal all by himself. I don't think anyone hit him, Sheldon.
No, just look a little bit like the same situation. Just bit off a little more than he could chew. And that's the problem here at Phoenix. It's such a treacherous track, and this is one of those places, I think of Pocono when I think of Phoenix, all the way down to the incident count at the end of the night.
Oh.
Let's see.
Boy, I said no contact, but they it almost wasn't for lack of effort in a weird way, was it? Eesh. Well, Sheldon, I guess this is probably exactly what you expected so far.
I've been here a time or two, unfortunately. It's just, it feels like here, Richmond, and Pocono. You can either end up with really good, long green flag runs, or more often than not, a lot of short tempers and incidents that feel avoidable, but aren't easily.
Yeah, and you know what? And it can be both, right? I mean, it could be, you never know. This is one of those tracks that's hard to predict as a driver. You could be running cautions like this, 2 back-to-back, and then next thing you know, or green forever, right? So this is one of those tracks that's hard to predict, and drivers try to play that mental game of when do I pit and hope they get it right.
It's also one of the situations, too, where I kind of think that, we talked about the track being cold, having a whole lot of grip in it, how great that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also noticed, all the time I've been here on the service that all that grip kind of sets to a standard of false confidence for a lot of guys. You get in there, you think you got way more than you got. You send the car in deep. You think it's going to stick. You know it's going to stick, and it sticks for about a half a second. Then just out of nowhere, it's gone from under you. And at that point, with as much load as you put into the chassis, it's not something you're getting right at easy.
No, it definitely is difficult. Well, hey, speaking of things about this league that makes it unique, the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series is looking for a choose cone driver. Remember last season we had the choose cone. We had the VW Beetle. They are minus a choose cone driver right now. So the drivers are going to choose. They're going to use this yellow line. That's the choose line right now. And if they can find someone to drive the car this season, they'll bring it back. But for right now, we're just using that yellow line right at the start-finish line to help them to declare their lanes. Oh, that car was on the line. That would have been a dead choose cone right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that we've seen that before.
They are offering hazard pay for the choose cone driver, right?
I hope so. A rubber suit, foam padding, medical insurance.
Hans device.
So, well, let's try it for a third time. Maybe a third time's a charm. It's Caleb McKinney, Brandon Puffenbarger, Josh Grosso, Wesley Triplett, and Brendan Bogoski, your top 5. Let's see if we can keep it clean this time. Once again, your leader, McKinney, who's at every lap so far, gets ready to press on the loud pedal, and the green flag comes back out as the cactus turns green.
Another great launch for the 76 machine of McKinney as he leads Joshua Grosso through into the 1 and 2. Side by side a little bit further back, though. Barbagallo down to the inside. Trying to click off a pass here in the 77 machine. And it's basically a logjam of cars here from third on back.
Well, so far, so good. We made it through turns 1 and 2. Let's try 3 and 4. And I think everyone's kind of got their tires warmed up, kind of got to feel the groove, and maybe being a bit more conservative since they don't want to have that third caution here. So right now, here we go, side by side. And boy, every time someone comes up off that dog leg, you get a feeling for just how dangerous it is.
Also noticing a little bit of damage to the nose of the 77 machine of Barbagallo. Got into the back of something there on that restart.
Yep, actually under the last caution, the moment of the last caution, I heard some drivers upset with Barbagallo. I can't repeat what they said. Let's just say they said, use the front of your car better.
And to quote Jeremy Clarkson, oh no.
Yeah. What's that old driving thing that you're responsible for the front of your car?
Yeah, so, optional. It's just a suggestion.
Like a speed limit. Well, here's side-by-side battles going on. Of course, that's Barbagallo up in the top there with that bright, multicolored number 77, like a That 70s Show style. Maybe that's too old. Maybe I'm an old person. Maybe you don't know what the That 70s Show is, but a car themed after the 70s, and this paint scheme is now 3 wide, as it's got the white and pink car up top, and is now trying to pass others here, and that is going to be, I believe, Ryan Fleck up ahead.
You see Matt Forns tag the wall a little bit there. Ryan Fleck just kind of trying to play the air game here to hold these two machines back behind him. The front of the pack, though, things looking pretty racy. Grosso under fire from the third place machine, the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger. As he's just trying to find some way to get that momentum down, get to the quarter panel of that one machine to try and make a pass. But it's so difficult.
Yeah, you watch this race and look how single file it is, and it almost seems kind of calm and collected. But here out of this corner, well, not this corner, that's the dog. But here out of this next corner, 1 and 2, the actual 1 and 2. How many drivers hit the wall out of this corner on a consistent basis blows my mind. It's almost like if we could get like watch this camera to see if anyone does it this time by here. You'll see some smoke puff up every now and then. Now that I said it, I think we're okay, of course. But there's a lot of drivers, Sheldon, who smoke the walls here, and even at the start-finish line. Is it just because of this? Is it just because this this track is always turning, or what causes people to constantly be scrubbing walls here?
long story short, it's tight racetrack. You got to use the entire diameter if you even.
Oh, there it is.
And that's a little more in a scrub. You might not be able to get that to rub out. But it's a tight diameter. You know, it looks like a wide track, but the groove is so razor thin here. And the problem with that groove being so razor thin is it takes so much to find something that sets you aside from the cars around you, and you have to just be on it every second of every lap just to maintain. As you see, heavy contact there, that outside fence.
And the 8s, and yeah, this is one of those tracks that always blows my mind how wide it really is at some points, and people love to get every inch of this track, and you get why, but sometimes they just want to get a bit too much out of it. Now working lap number 17. You see by this upon the indicator on the top of your screen, Caleb McKinney still up in front. He's got about a half-second lead already over Joshua Grosso. And here's Brandon Puffenbarger. He's trying to catch up with our Daytona winner in that Dr. Pepper machine. And so this track, though, I mean, you imagine it has a groove, but people love to use all kinds of lanes here.
Yeah, one of the most predominant that I've found throughout the years has always been, and we're seeing it right now with the 5 machine of Puffenbarger, just going up on that outside line and then try to get the cut coming off the corner. You see, going to work here for the 5 machine, going to get a huge run, but the problem is he's going to come down to 3 and 4, and momentum's just not going to carry with him. And it's so difficult. It's so difficult when you get somebody on your outside to really be able to pass and do it cleanly. So at some point in the run, you're going to see these tempers start to run out a little bit. These guys are going to start throwing haymakers at each other and, you know, give them a little nudge here with the door.
By the way, if you watch that graphic a second, the reason I think this track is exhausting a little bit, Sheldon, compared to other tracks, is the shifting here. So here's Puffenberg up to 5th, and now to get it back down into 4th for the corner, obviously. And then here in a minute, just after he gets out of this corner, he's going to try to hurry up and get it back up into 5th gear right about here. Yep. And then he's got to quickly get it back down into 4th gear automatically. This is, it's not maybe short track shifting, but in a way it is. You're shifting here a lot.
Oh, it's considered an intermediate, but, you know, with the banking, with how much off throttle time you have, how much brake shifting, the whole package here, it falls definitely more akin to a short track. But I mean, I'd even be one to say feels a little bit like a road course when we come here. There's a couple guys I've seen throughout the years that have transitioned from road to oval here on the iRacing service, and you know,
love this track.
It's like a cat in water everywhere we go for that first season. Then they come here and that light bulb comes on, and then boom, it just clicks everywhere after this.
Yep, I'm gonna agree. This is one of those tracks now. I don't know if it's the shifting. I don't know if it's the fact that there's a dog leg, which makes it feel like maybe like that, like a kink at Daytona. I don't know, but there is something about it. You're right, that it just kind of naturally appeals to the road course racers, and maybe they've been here. I think a lot of people forget in the Legacy scan of Phoenix there is I'll call it a minimalistic road course here. I've only been on it once or twice as a driver. I think it doesn't get used that often, and of course now iRacing also has the rallycross track here that they built, so there's a lot of use for this racetrack.
Yep. One little not well-known fact, but here and Gateway back in the day used to be referred to by commentators as Robles.
Yeah, before, well, so I say before Robles were a thing, but maybe they're not a thing anymore. Of course, the Charlotte Roval going away, at least this year on the NASCAR calendar. But man, this is a great side-by-side battle. This is Puffenbarger, and he is right next to Josh Grosso, and they're touching. Now, boy, here's the good news. They're battling, and they're keeping up with one another. The bad news, they have let McKinney get over a second ahead because of the side-by-side battle. When I watched this battle, go ahead, sorry.
That was a classy act from Puffenbarger there. Knows he wants to get the pass done so bad here on this one machine. He's definitely a little bit better than Grosso. And he could have slid up there and, you know, thrown the door at him. Got the elbows up, but decided to just, you know, crack the throttle, give up the time there, let him have it. He wants to get the job done clean. And there's not many people in this day and age on iRacing that would show that level of respect to their fellow competitor.
And that's the joy of league racing, isn't it? A little bit more respect sometimes, a little bit more trust, and they do it. But as I watch this high lane, low lane battle, I keep coming back in my head to Kevin Harvick back in, I think, 2020, 2021, when the battle he had at the end of Phoenix. But lots of great battles happen here over time, and this grooves it out. Here's Puffenbarger sticking his nose in again, trying to get up under Grasso, and now they're side by side again through turns 1 and 2. And again, that lead is this consistent for your leader, 1.1, 1.2 seconds. And Sheldon, in a way, I'm kind of surprised they're not more willing just to kind of get in line here, but get in line, catch your leader, and then worry about the battle.
I think Puffenbarger definitely has the better car right now, and he just wants to get up to second place and try to see if he can reel in that race leader, McKinney. McKinney's starting to run away with it.
Back here.
Oh, there we go. Had a little bit of help.
That's
and a great save.
Barbagallo, I believe, when Ryan Fleck. 71, sorry. I got the number on that car wrong. 71. That was Wyatt Walker and Ryan Fleck. But they get all saved up. I think there was a little bit of, polite words exchanged, and we're back to racing here. No yellow flag. By the way, yellow flag will come out at the end of lap 40, Sheldon. That is our stage break.
Look at the 77 machine. Barbagallo trying to make the pass here on the 9 of Ryan Fleck. I'm surprised how well Barbagallo's hanging on here, though, with all that damage to the front splitters. We get a look at the replay of what happened to 71 of Wyatt Walker earlier.
Fleck just drifted up and kind of caught the back end of him there.
And that's how desperate it is to make passes here. This is definitely, I'd say, here at Gateway are the two hardest places to make anything happen.
Yeah, I would say a non-short track. I would agree with that. Yep, I would definitely agree with that. This is the battle for P4 on your screen right now. So this will be Wesley Triplett running down Angel Hernandez, and Hernandez in that Boeing machine. And of course, Triplett in those team colors back there with the black and yellow with the gray camo on the sides. Coming around Phoenix we go here now, working lap 30 now, about 10 laps or so until the stage break. And Sheldon, with the stage break on lap 40 out of 130, what can you take away as a driver? What are you hoping to learn in the first 40 laps that help you in the remaining 90?
Main thing is just figuring out what kind of adjustments you want to throw at the car here on this pit stop. I know a lot of these guys are probably going to swing for the fence here to try and free these things up so they can have a little bit more drive off on that inside lane if they have to make a pass. But outside of that, I think a lot of these guys are also going to be thinking about maybe throwing 2 tires on here to try and undercut some of these guys in the field and pick up a couple of spots for the next stage.
That's right. Stage points handed out here at the end of lap 40. And now working around. This is that battle for P2. This has been a hot contested battle for the whole race. And they have slightly dug into Kayla McKinney by now that they're calmed down. That's McKinney up front. They're now less than 1 second behind. And look at that. There's Angel Hernandez trying to find his way into this battle. A little bit of a scrub there by Puffenbarger. We'll back him up. But we stay green.
Hernandez kind of returning to usual form here. Been kind of a rocky couple weeks for him here starting out in the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. But tonight, sitting in 4th place. I mean, I know this is a track that he probably leans in the favor of. Hernandez always runs well on these flat tracks and the short tracks, so good to see him getting the momentum rolling as we look at Chance Manning working the top line here, going toe-to-toe with the 44 machine of Brandon Bogowski.
Yeah, another great battle across the track here, and another driver in the 54 trying to make that top lane work. Now he digs it to the bottom and a crossover. Wow. And I think that's what these guys have been doing for the past couple of laps. But that may be in there as Manning got a massive run in that crossover. But that was amazing to see that live. Remember the 8 hit the wall earlier. Remember, he was the one who really crushed the wall earlier. And I'm wondering if that car is feeling the impact of that hit.
You can see the way he's kind of angled down the track here coming up off the corner. Doesn't have much confidence in letting that wheel unwind. I think he might have a toe link bent there on that 8 machine in Nance. Yeah,
it makes me wonder if he hit the wall again that we didn't see in the broadcast, because that's a long time ago that he did that. So I mean, the damage there, and of course that damage will mean, Sheldon, he's wearing that tire faster than everyone else. Oh, here's what may have happened. Watch this. This is the 8 with the 71 down below.
Ooh.
And that's not... The 8 lifted a lot. That may be why he was slower. So that's not anything that would cause a lot of damage. But, yeah, he seems to be maybe back up to speed now. Be right, there is some damage to that car from that wall hit earlier.
I'd be completely shocked if there wasn't.
Oh, how that's not a caution.
No, they both kept it straight.
I know, but I'm saying you could rack that
Impressive.
100 times, and it usually wouldn't end up that way. This is a great four-way battle for P16, by the way, on your screen. This is Ed Brown, Josh Neal, Nicholas Barton, and Michael Gervey back here. Look at these guys. These guys are now
big
5
21.
drivers. And that right there, that's a great camera shot. That's an effective use of the dog leg in some ways, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime I come here, I pretty much send it down as close to the bomb as I can possibly get, because it feels like it's the only place where you have the option to make time here over everybody else, because it feels like everybody gets, locked in, run the same lap times. It's so difficult to hunt someone down. As we see Barbagallo going at with Nance. Barbagallo up to the outside. Here comes Nance, sending it down to the bottom, trying to get past that 77 machine. But Barbagallo going to take over the spot.
2 laps to go in this stage, by the way. We're now beginning the lap number 39. The stage will end at the end of lap 40. So only a couple laps left in the stage. It's McKinney, it's Grasso, it's Puffenbarger, your top 3. This is the battle for P10 on your screen. This is Ryan Fleck, Barbagallo, Nance. I thought this is not. I guess it's not. Sorry. Oh, that's 71.
Walker
almost
got close
up there. So as soon as the top 10 cross lap 40 here, we're going to be told the caution will come out for the stage. In just a moment right here, it'll come out and we'll freeze the field right about now. Yellow flag ends the stage after 2 cautions at Phoenix. Well, Sheldon, lots of busy racing in the first 40 laps. I think some drivers probably learned some things about each other. They learned some things about how these tires handle, and we'll see what they're able to do with that information.
A lot of changes you can make here, but right now, one person probably don't want to change a thing. It's the 76 machine, Caleb McKinney, with the big win here for stage 1, and it was basically a walk-off for that Ford Mustang.
Well, you suspect to see everyone down at pit road. I think this time by everyone will get tires and gas and use this moment to kind of equalize the field back out. So you'll see this 76, I suspect, make the left-hand turn and lead the entire field down this very, very long, slow pit road. That car up there, by the way, is Zach Beekman. He's going to get a lap back and then probably pit. We'll see if he pits later on the next lap or not. He may just want to get the lap back and hope for a quick caution. But pit road's now busy. Here is your leader leading us down pit road. And let's see. I suspect Sheldon it's 4 tires gas for everybody. No one's going to play with the stop, I don't think.
That's a good opportunity to cut some track position out here. And, these flat tracks, they seem to really like 2 tires. Might be some money in that call.
Maybe some money indeed. Well, let's watch this here from your leader. Right side's up, right side's down, left side's up. No one's passing by so far. All the times in the pit board we can see looks like 4s across the board. But I saw 1. No, maybe not. I think it was just a short time. It ended on the timer briefly. But everyone there in the 14s. Now it indicates, a 13.9 for Ryan Fleck. That's a good time. But 8 times indicate 4 tires and gas for everybody.
Joshua Grasso getting out with the lead here, though, in that 1 machine.
There's Matt Forns getting some. These are cars in the back that are getting damage fixed with the 35 pluses. That'd be why you're sitting on pit road that long.
Oh, somebody just blew up.
Whoa. There'd been a car on pit road that was getting some damage fixed, I'm suspecting. Maybe Matt Forn. Oh, there it is. John Walker, who had some damage from one of those early wrecks, has blown the motor up. And there you go. So choose cone in effect. Your front 2 chose the inside lane. Do you think, as a driver here, Sheldon, you have a preferred lane? Or is it just about where the majority is not?
I always go for the top here myself. I just feel like you can pick off so many spots on the outside where the bottom lane gets wound down. But did McKinney get himself a penalty here? Because he's given up
He's certainly slow,
all the
isn't he?
spots. Yeah. Maybe a speeding penalty for the winner of stage 1? That'll shake it up. This puts everything in the hands of Jonathan Grasso and Angel Hernandez.
Certainly does. That's confusing to me. Let's see what happens here. And so we can get a word maybe later about what happened to him. He's end of longest line, though. Maybe he got caught speeding on pit road. I don't know.
That's what I think.
And there you go. And this is the image of the 94. This is the car that blew up, and wait and see. We're about to go green here, so we have to come back to that. But he's going to come around dead pit road, and that motor is just going to expire. I suspect maybe just a natural use. I don't know. But green flag's back out. Joshua Grosso is back here under the green flag, pressing on the pedal and looking there 2, 3, almost 4 wide. Back to the dogleg.
Long way from Daytona, but Joshua Grosso keeping true to form here. As we got a wreck a little bit further in the back of the pack, multiple cars around in 1 and 2.
Oh, there's McKinney. Wow, went to the back of the field and found himself with Garland spun around in the back of the field. He just went literally from first to last in about 5 laps or so.
Rough break to start out for McKinney.
Caleb McKinney says it's his fault. So we're going to wait and see what the replay says. But Caleb McKinney's already spoken up in sim and said, hey, now I'll claim that. Watch what's going to happen here. McKinney way to the bottom. Gets on the dog leg, comes back up.
He gets in here and he just sends it deep in.
Oh, boy.
This is his first time in traffic all night.
Whoa,
and it's so easy to misjudge when you've been running in clean air, running away from the field, what everybody else's brake zone is. You know, the further you get in the back, the earlier the brake zone is, the longer the brake zone is, because some of these guys are struggling with ill-handling race cars, the dirty air, you know, the whole plethora of things that really alters that. And he just sends it in the corner a little too deep, gets on the brakes. If it gets on any harder, it's going to lock up. Wrecks himself to avoid wrecking the rest of the field, but unfortunately, a couple guys get caught up with him as well.
Yeah, it was almost his last time in traffic. He almost got rear-ended pretty hard there, and luckily avoided that. But that was pretty sudden. Well, we're at the choose cone almost already here. Joshua Grosso leads him around. Grosso, Puffenbarger, Angel Hernandez up to P3. Chance Manning up to P4, by the way. Ryan Fleck in P5. So some cars down pit road. See them on the right side of your screen. Get some damage fixed. That'd be McKinney, Forns, Beacom, by the way. Beacom, by the way, I think did benefit there. But he said he stayed out into that last caution. He did stay out. He did get his lap back. And then this caution secures him back on the lead lap. So that's a great strategy call by Zachary Beacom.
Also, how about that, too? Chance Manning feels like week in and week out the biggest mover. Started this race off tonight in 13th place. He's already up 9 spots, sitting in P4. You know, a week where we've been talking about people not being able to pass. So pretty good early cut through the field. Hernandez as well, up 7 spots from 10th.
There's a bunch of drivers up some spots here. Let's take a look at a couple of them. I saw plus 13 for Justin Barkley, plus 11 for Joshua Neal. Gerby's up 13. So there's some big movers. And, of course, when you have drivers who fall down the field like McKinney, who's down 19, Matt Forns down 16, Beacon down 11, for every, what's that thing I learned in science class? For every positive, there's a negative, something like that. I was a C student in science.
I just know the Earth is round.
There you go. That's a pretty good rule to live by. Which
I probably just started a controversy for us up here, but
yeah,
hey,
I did. There's YouTube chat's gonna pop off in a second, but we'll keep that in mind. Well, Joshua Grosso leads us around. He'll wait here to bring that number 1 car around in the number 1 position. That Dr. Pepper with the P on the side. And you see Beacon, by the way, got all damage fixed he could, just pulls off here. And we're back under green at Phoenix. Well, he waited to the very last second.
And it was a good launch, though. Grosso putting about 4 car lengths between him and second place Angel Hernandez. Hernandez getting a good launch into 1 and 2, though, to try and close the advantage. A little bit of off-center 3 wide, a little bit of contact. Nance gets moved out of the way by Barbagallo.
So
and I dive down to the bottom, 3 wide.
Oh, boy. Chance Manning barely got out of that situation. I thought for sure he was going to clean out the car up ahead. That
but he pulled the air.
Black.
He was able to
get another one of those team cars. We're green. No caution, so we're going to keep moving here. But that car's going to fall way back. That is Ryan Fleck, by the way. Now we're 3 wide. And I think we're going to make it 2 wide and calm it down a little bit here on lap 49.
And for Fleck, I think that was a situation of Manning got a little too close to the bumper there in the corner center, and I think that pulled the air off the spoiler.
See what happened here in the replay.
This
was just ahead of Chance Manning. And hold on, now the caution's out. I've already heard someone take blame, and I believe that's going to be Nance here. Yep, I see him slow on the track in the 8 car. He's already said that's all me, so he'll take the blame for this caution. It's lost it all by himself, I do believe. We'll catch from that replay, Sheldon.
The machine just comes out of turn 4.
Well, that's a
Cold
weird place
tires.
to lose it.
Yep, cold tires, just snaps around on him.
That's a weird place. Typically, you see people lose it in the corners. It's almost odd to see them lose it at the start-finish line. Well, I'll tell you what, Sheldon, you know what? The CIL Indy 500 is almost upon us. On February the 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, one more driver will look to add their name to the list of drivers who have been able to kiss the virtual bricks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Not only can everyone watch that race live on Green Flag TV, but any college student or college alum can enter this race. If you want to find out how you can enter this event and win your share of the $100 prize pool, just scan the QR code on your screen or visit collegiateiRacingLeague.com for more information. I'll tell you what, there's crown jewel events, Sheldon. We know them by heart on the NASCAR side, but boy, if you can win yourself an Indy 500, oh, that I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Oh, it's a great feeling. One that I've yet to experience, but those big events, man, they mean a lot, especially when you're running full length. Getting Southern 500 win a little bit back felt pretty great for me, and I still kicked myself in the tail over the second place I got in the Brickyard 400 about 8 years ago. But
I've done the Daytona 500 victory twice now, and it felt just as good the second time as it did the first. I'm sure if I could pull off an Indy 500, that would be just as special. I'm not going to. I'm not comfortable in those cars, by the way. They make me nervous being open wheel and that close to someone. I know our producer Dustin Ollis is a king of the Indy cars, but I'm not comfortable in them.
Yeah, same situation for me. I have a knack for Kyle Larsoning on restarts.
I have a knack for just getting up in someone's wheels and or getting behind someone's dirty air and not knowing how to use the weight jacker. Yeah, those are my problems. So, but again, that's for Thursday, February 26th, about 16 days from now. So you'll see more about it on Green Flag TV as that time looms on. But we'll get that going. We're going to go an extra lap here on top of our normal stuff here, Sheldon. So on top of that, I think we might as well going to take a look at what's up ahead on Green Flag TV while you have the time here and take a look at a glance of what's upcoming. Tonight, the OMSRL kicks off another broadcast, and they're at Rockingham Speedway tonight. That's Nolan Rimple and others on the call over there. Tomorrow night, Premier Sim Racing kicks off their actual season of points-paying races with an 85-minute race at Daytona International Speedway. And then Thursday night, we have a triple header. The Mystic NASCAR Caswell Glass Company Series will be the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Collegiate iRacing League, their IndyCar Series, will be at the Miami Road Course. That's just new to iRacing. And then the Speed Cup Series will start off their run at Daytona on Thursday night. Friday night, the Zero Torque Racing League heads over to the Charlotte Roval to continue their playoff system. And then Saturday night, the Sim Racing Association will bring the NASCAR and the IEL Truck Series over to Texas Motor Speedway. So busy night here, 6 nights a week, sometimes 7 nights a week on the channel, multiple broadcasts per day. Lots going on here on Green Flag TV. So subscribe so you can get all those notifications. But it is Speed Month, Sheldon. I think you and I are both spending a good amount of time at Daytona in the month of February.
Oh man, I think I've covered about 24 Daytona races since December. It's
I would cast 500 miles and then I'll cast 500 more.
I got the tomorrow night. I'm doing the full length broadcast for the NIS Open.
There you go. Yeah, I think I might be doing that the Friday night on the iRacing channel. So we'll find out and see what's up ahead of my schedule as well. But hoping that works out. Josh Cross is hoping this restart works out. He's hoping to get it moving on along here and see if he can get away from Angel Hernandez, Puffenbarger, and others. Once again, wait through the restart zone. The O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone, and the green flag is back out.
Not quite as good of a restart there for Grosso as earlier. And here comes the 5 machine of Puffenbarger throwing a slider on the 42, but a wreck in the back.
I heard the slide there. Top White Walker saved, so no caution. But that 71, I heard it slide around as I was watching him on the track here. But
oh, he's got heavy damage.
He has apologized to the 88, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Oh, that must not have been done. Apologize. That's one of those teammate cars. And boy, oh boy.
Look at how that car's crab walking right now, though. Walker definitely has damage to the suspension after that hit.
Yeah, and what he's probably hoping for right now is he's hoping for a quick caution somewhere else. He does not want to come down pit road under green and fix this. He does not want to spend all that time. But boy, the time he is losing on track lap by lap. Watch this again here. Boy, did someone get a tag on that hit and run? Yeesh.
Such a rough break. Wyatt was running really well, too, before that happened.
A little bit of aggression as you need sometimes at Phoenix, but it didn't pay off that time. Meanwhile, back up through the field, this will be the 44 up top. And he's now trying to run. That's Brandon Bogoski. He's got Ryan Fleck below him or behind him and his teammate. They're both trying to instead head to Justin Barkley, who's up 12 spots on the evening. So they're having a good run. This team right now, it's Fleck, Bogoski, Triplet. They've been having a great run. They have a couple other drivers here. Watch this here from Ryan Fleck. Oh, that's teammate on teammate action right there, Sheldon.
And if that doesn't portray how difficult it is to pass and how desperate these guys are to make moves here tonight, I don't know what else does.
Let me tell you
also, that battle we were looking at earlier, the Joshua Grosso Puffenbarger battle, yeah, it's still ongoing. Grosso getting a little bit ahead here, though.
Well, that moment ago with Fleck in the 44, and there's two perspectives. As a viewer, that's fun to see teammates get out there and duke it out. As a team owner of a different team, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than when your teammates decide to get out there and beat on each other like that. Makes for an awkward Discord call later tonight sometimes.
Yeah, I've been privy to those on both sides of the fence throughout my time here.
Yep. And here they are. They're back at it again here. And that's the 44, and that's Ryan Fleck as well. That's Bogoski and Fleck right here, side by side, trying to hold off the cars behind him. That would be, I believe, Collins. Triplets back there, Michael Gervey, Ed Brown's up there, up 6 spots, by the way. So lots of movement up and down the field on this track. Sheldon, I'm not sure if that surprised you as much. It's not a track I think we talked about there being a lot of passing, but there's a lot of drivers who are not when they started in this field.
A lot of attempts. Only a few are able to really get the job done here, though. Such a treacherous track. Just look at the 74 machine. Wesley Triplet trying to get to the back bumper. The 3 of Austin Collins. Collins using high line momentum to propel him down the front straightaway with the advantage. As you see a little bit of smoke get knocked off there of the safer barrier in the dog leg. Once that factory smoke comes out, you can't get it back in.
No, that's true. Once that smoke comes out, it's not a good sign. But here riding back from Austin Collins and P9, that look back on P10. That's Wesley Triplet and Michael Gervey side by side.
Triplet working the outside. Here comes Gervey, though, making the inside lane work for him. Great rotation through center, but just can't get it to connect on exit. The outside line still overpowered. Triplet going to pull away and hang on for now.
Doing a great job.
Gervy ain't done yet.
No, not done at all. It was a great battle. And that's what happens at Phoenix. Once this thing gets spaced out and we get past those quick yellows, Sheldon, then you see these battles here, and it really almost becomes a driver's battle. Who can find the right line? Who can save enough tires? Who really can, I guess, wheel the car better?
That's what it's all about here. As we see Manning under pressure here from the 77 machine of Barbagallo. Barbagallo going to take over the spot here in the dog leg. Manning gets close to the back bumper, though, taking the shortcut a little bit earlier. Now he's going to try and taper up to the outside line to find a little bit of extra momentum. But is it going to amount to much? Doesn't quite look like it. He's going to get a good run through center here, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with it in 3.
No, I think he's a little too far back. As Chance Manning, see there with the orange hood, or the orange roof, pardon me, trying to run down that multicolored Barbagallo machine here. This is the battle for P4. Having a great run here. Well, there's something of note here I like about this track. Oh, hold on. I'll come back to that as we see a side by side because Manning digs it in here to Barbagallo. A little bit of contact on the back bumper, and we're good. he basically just kissed that Pepsi logo right there.
A little bit of a push here, trying to make his presence known. Wants to force him offline a little bit. Gonna get a good run through 3 and 4 this time, but the outside lane just gonna hold him on the quarter panel for Barbagallo.
And probably this time Brian Manning should get the inside lane. He does. And now he'll be clear for the moment of Barbagallo. If we go back to where we were before with that camera facing forward, I was going to say something unique about this track here. You mentioned the road course idea a little bit ago. Your braking markers at Phoenix, look at them. They're the traffic cones in the fence. There's only a couple tracks I can think of here. Pocono has the traffic cones in the fence. You get damn close to the wall right there. Are there other tracks you could think of that have the cones as your braking marker still?
I think it's here in Pocono because I know Indy switched to the.
Is any short tracks out? Oh. Hello.
Well, I'm sure short tracks on here probably do. If I think maybe USA, but I mean that track doesn't even exist anymore, so it doesn't count.
But like Martinsville doesn't have them, I don't think. So yeah.
Yeah, Martinsville we use the signage.
Right, use the signage. Yeah. Okay. So it is very unique. Typically, of course, road courses you see the traffic cones more commonly on the ground than you do up in a fence somewhere. But still, your traffic cones being a braking marker is another way that maybe this lends itself to a road course driver.
I can't remember what track it is, but I remember last year one of them signage blew off, so we got a caution in the back.
Well, it's
19 machine around again.
Yep, Zachary Beacom, who got himself back on the lead lap, needs to get moving here because there's the iRacing pace car right behind him, and I think he's going to be good as far as that's concerned. Well, here we go. The 19 is going to come up here, and boy, that start-finish line.
Oh, it's the transition.
Oh, it's the transition. You're right.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
You see the sparks
in the wall.
And you saw the sparks flood out from underneath that 19 machine. And when you see sparks like that after a huge bump, that means just about all 4 tires have lost their contact pattern because you're on the rub blocks at that point. Listen, hear that scrape? That's the scrape of death.
But is it the scrape, or was it maybe... obviously, the scrape doesn't help, don't be wrong, but was it maybe the hand movements tied in, right? If you just heard that scrape and kind of kept the car pointed straight, I have a feeling he might not be in that situation.
Oh, it's a situation where that wheel gets jerked out of your hand, too.
That's fair.
When you hit like that, and you can't really, put the genie back in the bottle on that one. But when you scrape the bottom of these cars, it's like when we used to, run cars too low at Daytona and stuff like that, and you'd get maybe the truck arm dragging.
Mm-hmm.
And, you just go into the corner, it just loops right around on you. Well, this car, any bump that you come across, you're close enough that if you hit it at the wrong angle with the right amount of trajectory or right amount of pace, that it will hit it and it will completely yank it around. Because instead of that being, behind the back end of the car, that is on the bottom floor.
So a bunch of cars down pit road this time. Only your top 3 stayed out: Bogosky, Fleck, and Neal. And I think this has made sense to pit this time, Sheldon. Yeah, we've had a couple of cautions here, but we're working lap 71. So in a way, you're only about 10 laps short from basically breaking this race into thirds. So walk me through maybe what you think the process is for Bogosky, Fleck, and Neal here. What do you think led them to stay out, and do you think it's a successful idea?
I mean, you're back there in traffic a little bit, struggling with the handle of the car. Best, you're not going to win this thing if you do what the leader does. So right now, what you're trying to do is set yourself off center. We've got
not going green this time by. We are double file, but we're going to go around one more full time here. So I'm going to put that in your ears. But are you more nervous being, say, Bogosky, who, by the way, interesting to note, all 3 drivers, or all 2 of the drivers that didn't pit, both took the top lane. Neal is back there. Yep, so all 3 are in the top lane. Boy, I would almost wish one of my buddies would have taken the inside lane and blocked this run on the inside here.
See how it works out for him here.
You suspect they're going to get swallowed up by new tires?
I don't. So we did get a new short track tire, which I do believe affects all tracks a mile and under, which would include Phoenix.
Right.
I don't know if this is still considered the intermediate tire or not. You've also got the 750 horsepower in these cars now too, so things are a little bit different. So I can't totally speculate until I've done it myself, or see how this works out. But I don't think that the new tires are going to outweigh the dirty air. It's just going to be so difficult.
You can see the difference on your screen there. 31 lap old tires for the cars on the outside versus, of course, just those pace laps on the inside. So let's find out how good these tires are. This may answer some questions for what happens here, but look at this bottom lane. Look how many people chose the top. I understand the top lane may be dominant, Sheldon, but like, I mean, only to a certain extent. I'm confused. Well, let's not be confused. Let's wait for the green flag to come out here, and it's going to be a good jump by Bogoski here as he gets that top lane rolling around. But there on the bottom of the new driver with the new tires, that's Chance Manning in 54. He wants the lead.
And Chance Manning going to send it deep into 3 and 4, and a great charge. 54 machine up to P1 as he clears down the back straightaway.
Neil had a hard time. He's way back deep in the pack already. But there's Manning well clear. Here comes Hernandez. He's now going to try and clear the drivers with the older tires.
Also,
and I think it's going to make it work here in the corner.
Oh, Puffenbarger gets stuffed in the fence there.
Certainly did.
The 9 machine of Fleck.
He's still too wide. And that's going to be the number 1 car. To his inside. They get it worked out here. They're back around, mostly safely driving. So I mentioned it right before we went greens. I just saw in the back corner of that camera shot. I mean, I know you said the top lane is dominant, but were you surprised how many people were on the top in that choose cone?
Not at all. There's nothing more infuriating than getting down there stuck on the bottom and using up all your tires just trying to make one pass.
Speaking of getting used up, let's see what's going to happen here to Neil. Maybe a slight bump, and then he's got up in the wall and back through the field he went. All right, now it's Manning, it's Hernandez, and McKinney. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go back to P8 to find Bogoski, your first driver on old tires.
Right now, I think the hardest race in the field right now is the battle between Grosso and Puffenbarger. These two have spent most of their time up at the front. Oh. As you see what happened with Puffenbarger, great reactionary drive from the 5 machine to avoid hitting the 9 of Fleck, because that could have been curtains for both of them. But unfortunately, Puffenbarger catches the short on the stick. Now down to the inside of Grosso as he tries to make over that pass. He knows now is the easiest opportunity he's going to have because it's the only time they've been equal all night.
And that's the thing right there that Puffenbarger did. That transition on-off the dogleg is difficult. But I think the most difficult thing to do when you get in that dogleg is trust yourself, because you don't know. I mean, when you get down there may have been a car high when you touch the dogleg. It may or may not be there when you come off the dogleg. And you have to swing it back out pretty far, Sheldon, to make that dogleg work correctly. So I think there's a lot of trust you have to put in yourself and the other drivers around you when you're using that dogleg.
Yeah, you got to definitely proceed around here with an air of caution at any given moment. One guy that's really made out like a champ, though, at 76 machine of Caleb McKinney getting back up to the mix. Remember, did excellent in the first stage. A little bit of an incident, got mired in the back, got caught in another incident, and here he is back up into P4 or P3.
Great job up here in the P3, in fact, by Caleb McKinney, and a very nice, solid redemption run for him. As we now cross lap 80, as we now have counting down on the laps here. Let's do a little bit of an update here. So remember, we started with 27 cars on the track. We have 22 still on the lead lap, and I think 23 Wyatt Walker 4 laps down, the only lap down car I can see currently riding around the track. So a track sometimes known for attrition, and of course it's not done yet, Sheldon, still plenty of time, but that's a pretty good number. If you have 23 of 27 cars left, about 2/3 into the race, I'd say you're doing a good job.
Well, it's also a great turnout tonight here too, because Phoenix is not necessarily the most popular among drivers to run. So to get a 27 car field here tonight is it's kind of a godsend in its own way. But we were talking earlier about the fresh tires versus the old tires.
I think fresh tires won.
I don't know about that. Chance Manning, Angel Hernandez still up there at the top spot.
They both pitted in 71.
Oh, they both pitted? Oh, my Lord, I've lost my mind.
Yeah, your first driver on old tires is Bogoski back in P9. Yeah.
It's hanging on all right. That's a net gain for the 44
Good job
machine.
so far. I'd agree with that. Oh, buddy, almost got a little high there, up on the 20. But doing okay there. That's going to be the 20 of Nicholas Emmons that he's trying to battle there. And, of course, then they've got a car right behind them in Nance. So, of course, this track, I think, kind of a hot-button topic. Of course, real-life NASCAR fans for many years hosted the NASCAR finale weekend. Of course, this year in 2026, we're going to go back to Homestead with NASCAR now saying they'll rotate the tracks. And, of course, Sheldon, it's a cool promise until if you start to realize that there's only like, 5 tracks you can rotate between, where I'd feel comfortable holding a finale race in November. So I'm sure it'll be back on the finale schedule at some point. But I think for a lot of fans, it's a welcome change to go back to Homestead for a year.
I think overall dream, what would work best is if they'd switch with SMI every now and then on who gets what with the championship race.
Well, I mean,
I think a Charlotte finale would be awesome. I think a Darlington finale would be incredible.
Do you trust the weather in either of those places though in the middle of November?
Yeah. Not really. I mean, it's gonna be chilly, but I live in VA, and it's very rare that we get snow in VA. We're a little bit further to the north.
That's a
the
big
Madhouse,
risk.
the Madhouse getting snowed out though. You'll see it in February,
right?
Or all the way up to April if you're in Tennessee.
So I mean,
on a blue moon.
NASCAR has said, no road courses, no super speedways for the finale. So in my mind, that basically leaves you Phoenix, leaves you Texas, leaves you Homestead. Those are the 3 obvious ones. Echo Park, which is, I guess, quasi a super speedway at this point until it wears off a little bit more. So maybe that's not in rotation yet.
Well, here's the thing, though. Literally the week before, we're at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in Martinsville.
That's fair.
It snows heavy there in the winter.
That's fair.
So I think
I just don't know. I
Carolina.
I don't know if logistically you want to risk planning your finale. Like, it's different to plan a penultimate. I don't know. To me, it's just different planning your finale. If that finale doesn't go well, if it holds off to a Wednesday or a Thursday like Bowman Gray did, it kind of loses its luster,
Yeah, but
heck, that Bowman Gray race is still going on. By the way, they're still under caution, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have we gone down to Homestead and had rain abbreviated,
right.
well, not abbreviated, but postponements and stuff like that.
That's fair.
Daytona 500 this year probably get rained out like it does every year.
Yeah, that's fair. Great medals on track, by the way, as we're debating logistics and NASCAR here. The 5 cars doing a pretty solid job getting on around, and lots of big moments of happenings. We're now down to 42 to go. And I mean, you're right. It does feel like no matter where NASCAR goes, weather is sure to follow. So we'll see what happens with that and how that finale switches. Are you happy the finale's back at Homestead?
I am certainly happy that we have moved away from Phoenix. But I mean, back to the whole, maybe ISC and SMI, find a little middle ground on it. I think a finale at Las Vegas would be incredible. What about you?
Oh, that's a good track I forgot about. Yeah, Las Vegas is down. You're right. Las Vegas would be a great racetrack to have a finale at. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Now the challenge to that would be planning logistics in Vegas near the F1 race, but not impossible.
And Kansas also be a pretty interesting concept.
Well, right now on the track is P4, P5. This is Josh Grosso, not Dr. Pepper machine, the number 1 car. He is trying to run down Caleb McKinney in that number 76. And for McKinney, it's really been a tale of 2 races, hasn't it? Right before that stage break, led, I think, every lap in the first stage. Got that penalty after the stage. Had to fall to the back of the pack, got involved in the incident right after that stage, went back to green, and somehow has fought themselves back here into P4.
No, this has absolutely been the recovery drive of a lifetime for that 76 machine. Just has to get it done, though, for another 38 laps. So you got 1 car hard into the fence, a little bit further in the back.
One of the lap cars, I believe. I think it was White, I believe I heard in my ears. That may have Brian White that may have been up on the wall there. So We'll keep moving here. Only 30-some laps to go. And so right now, short of this race going yellow, what you have in your car is what you have. There's no more pit stops. There's no more tire changes. There's no more nothing. So from here, how do you manage that car? How do you make sure that you have enough car left for the next 38 laps, knowing that you pitted probably about 22 laps ago already.
Just try to filter a little bit of clean air to the splitter. Don't get too aggressive with your inputs, and hope that you can reel them back. If you get to somebody's bumper, don't be afraid to move them if you gotta, because it's crunch time now.
By the way, I do want to come back and backtrack on what I said. I forgot, and I apologize. Here in Mars, the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, we're only 65% fuel tank. So if these guys who pitted 23 laps ago, going to 23 and 37, I take off my shoes, add a couple of numbers, that's 60 laps. I don't know if that's doable, and it's definitely not doable for those 3 cars, for Bogosky, Neal, and the others, by the way. But I don't know if 60 laps is doable on this gas tank. Maybe we're not done pitting.
It's probably part of the reason we see Bogosky filtering further and further into the back, because at this point, you know the tires are certainly equalized with the rest of the field attempts. Probably just being aggressive, trying to save a little bit extra.
I mean, Bogosky's going to have to pit. Remember, he and a couple others stayed out in that last caution, and this is probably their nightmare, Sheldon. They probably thought we were going to go, yellow again at some point, and they could kind of level off the pit stops, so to speak. Also, keep in mind, by the way, in this series, 4 tire sets total. 1 on your car to start the race, plus 3 more. So you do also have to manage these tire sets. You can't just take one every pit stop, or you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we'll say that is one of the better. Sorry to cut off.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. That's one of the better implementations of iRacing. Has it been 2-3 years now? Maybe is it a bit more than that since we got tire limits?
I want to say 21 or 22.
It's been one of the better implementations, I think, by iRacing. And there are some series that I think the limits are too high and they don't make you think about it. But there are some where it is correct, and I think it's a great battle of playing that trick of what to do. I mean, I think this week for the Daytona 500, drivers are going to get like 8 or 9 sets, which is more than you need at Daytona. But oh, in the wall again.
Oh, once you factor in the amount of times that people are going to get spun and wrecked, and it's good to have that extra.
Sure.
But I do think that's probably, as far as iRacing is concerned, one of the best things that they did, because it was terrible. We'd run 5 laps, a caution would come out, the entire field's on pit road.
On it. Yep.
Another 5 laps, caution, tires, and
I know that within some of the communities as well, we're waiting for that day when endurance racing gets tire limits. I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be a great addition to the 12s and the 24s when you can't take tires every time and you have to learn how to double stint a tire. I'm excited for that.
That will be great.
Well, what's also great is the racing here. 31 laps to go, and it is Chance Manning leading us on around here. He's picked up a big lead, by the way, as we've been hanging out having a conversation. Angel Hernandez half a second back. And then Joshua Grosso is back there just about another half second back. Being told in my ears, Sheldon, the estimates we're getting, everyone should be about 5 laps short on gas. And I don't know how you stay competitive and save 5 laps at Phoenix. I don't think you can do that. I mean, you can lift in the corners a little bit, but I don't know. Oh, in fact, with the one car, Grosso's down pit road right now. This would be halfway through the run, so this kind of makes sense. But boy, Sheldon, this makes me nervous as a driver. We've been here before. You know what happens when you pit early in a run here.
Yeah. Also, with 2 seconds of fall off in lap time here with this current tire horsepower configuration, I'm starting to wonder if those guys that stayed out on that old set and came in early here. Oh, Grosso, penalty, speeding.
Oh, no. Speeding. That's what happened. That's not what I meant, but that is what happens when you pit by yourself. You get a little anxious on that throttle and you speed. So unfortunately for Grosso, short of a couple yellows, has thrown away this race at Phoenix. Here's the battle up front. That's Chance Manning right there with the camo look with the orange roof to the car in the 54. He is under attack. That's Angel Hernandez in the Boeing car with a lapped car in between them. So this is the battle for the lead.
That's we were talking about pit strategy, and when you come in, how long do you push it?
Yep. McKinney and Puffenbarger, by the way, both down pit road.
I'm looking at that 54 machine. I think he's going to be one that's going to err on the side of caution. We've seen countless times Manning just pit road strategy hasn't worked out very well for him in the past. As we see one machine around the 82, Joshua Neal.
So, hold on.
Caution.
Oh boy, McKinney and Puffenbarger just got stuck, I think. And tell you what, if you're 5 laps short on this, Dennis Kane spun around. If you're 5 laps short on fuel, maybe you're not all of a sudden.
Come down pit road right now, throwing right sides and a splash of fuel. Just be good to the end. Right there should be the winning combination.
That's what happens to Kane first, and I got a couple questions here. Kane comes up out of the corner right by the start-finish line.
Same story as earlier.
Oh boy,
Saw the
later,
sparks.
right?
That dog leg was treacherous, even in the Gen 6 car and the old the O'Reilly Auto Parts car.
Oh, O'Reilly's. So Manning is going to lead the field down pit road. Being told to random a couple cars down pit road early. We'll see if we can confirm that in a little bit here. But this will be tires and gas. Let's see what's going to happen here. Watch the tires on that car. Right side's up. And right side's down. Does he go left sides for Manning? He does.
Looks like he does. I don't know if I do that. Somebody might get the under here. You see one car getting out early.
Long.
Is that Walker getting the last spots?
I thought it was.
Oh, he's coming in.
He's just coming in. Okay, yeah, that's the same thing.
Looks like Manning's going to win the race off pit road over Angel Hernandez, so nobody really going for the gamble here. Oh, there we go. Nicholas Hammonds goes with 2 tires and climbs through the field.
Certainly did. So talk to me a second from a driver standpoint. Maybe we got some friends, some family watching the race who don't do iRacing, don't do sim racing. Talk to me what's likely to happen when you put 2 tires on. Obviously, the answer is you take less time on pit road. I got that. But specifically when it comes to handling and driving of the car, what should these guys expect by only putting 2 tires on?
Well, the car may be a little bit freer on corner exit. That's mainly the biggest problem. Sometimes, depending on it's track specific, but these flat tracks, it feels like you take left sides or don't take left sides. It doesn't feel like it really does a whole lot of difference. Here, Phoenix, New Hampshire, Martinsville, the shorter tracks, because that left side tire carcass is really, really rigid. It can handle a lot of abuse, and pretty much all your load is directly on those right sides. So you can get away with it here and not notice too much difference. Now, you wouldn't want to do that at, say, Las Vegas or Homestead, because it would just absolutely ruin you. But, you come down pit road, you throw a little bit of a wedge adjustment at it to kind of counteract it. Maybe a little bit of a adjustment to the right side tire pressures to get everything kind of even. This short stint, you kind of want to pump those pressures up anyway.
So,
but,
with 24 to go, do you get nervous about how loose the car may be here?
If you haven't done it enough, you definitely get nervous. I mean, you always get nervous no matter what adjustments you make on a restart. But these guys should be all right. I mean, that net gain in track position is going to outweigh any grip loss that they have as long as they can keep it pointing in the right direction.
Well, let's see if anyone can keep it pointing in the right direction. We'll start with the 54 Chance Manning. He'll point towards the start-finish line, and the green flag will come back out at Phoenix. There's that bright green cactus, one of the visual upgrades to the track in the past number of years. And Manning comes off the dog leg, up ahead of Hernandez, up ahead of Triplet and others. And so far, so good. Back to the field. I see some 2 wide, attempted 3 wide. And let's see what's going to happen to those 2 tires cars, Sheldon.
You see Emmons working the outside line here on the 77 of Barbagallo. A little bit of a struggle there in center. Barbagallo going to get the head, but 1 car around. Is that Angel Hernandez on the apron?
It is. Yep, it is. That Boeing machine is on a round. No caution. He keeps pointing forward. And we'll keep racing. What happens, Hernandez? Let's watch it right here. Up out of the corner before the start-finish line. This got it loose up there on the track. He got it saved.
And that was an impressive.
Oh, hold on.
Impressive save.
Caution is out. Ed Brown is the car that's on the bottom of your screen there.
He tried to keep that thing pointing in the right direction. He didn't want that yellow to come out.
No, the dejection in his voice when he claimed the caution in sim was very, very Eeyore-like, if you will.
He gave it all he could, but once you bounce off the inside wall like that, it just isn't going to stay down. As we see the Whelen Chevrolet with the Cadillac signage on it as well. Call back to the 24 hours Daytona a few weeks ago, as well as the future for General Motors with the big announcement and reveal of the livery for the brand new Cadillac Formula One car.
Yeah, that came out, I think, multiple methods. They had a Super Bowl commercial. They did a reveal in Times Square that might have been timed the commercial, I thought. At least it was darn close in time if it wasn't identical. So, yeah, they're making a big deal, and they should, about that new Cadillac team and their presence within Formula One. So here we are now riding around with 20 laps to go. And you have to think, Sheldon, for the drivers who took 2 tires, if we come into a world of repeat cautions, that's good news for those drivers.
Oh yeah, because that allows you to have an opportunity for everybody else to end up equalizing with you. You know, get a couple heat cycles on the tires. That benefit of that left side tire kind of nulls and voids itself, because, you know, at some point everybody's just going to be kind of plateaued at the same point, because it's more about tire heat and pressure buildup as opposed to tire wear with this current tire model that we have. So, you know, a couple more cautions, everybody be a little more equal, and this guy's on 2, you're going to be looking like geniuses.
Speaking of 2, P2, Wesley Triplett, your driver who won the preseason race at Daytona, has also been successful on Green Flag TV on Monday nights in the High Tide Racing League. Is back up to P2. Then you'll find Jonathan Nance in P3, Dominic Barbagallo in P4, Nicholas Ammons up in P5, up 12 spots on the day. So right now, if you are Wesley Triplett, and obviously I'm surprised. You've been a big proponent today of how big the outside is, but Chance Manning took the inside. So let's flip the question around now. If you're Triplett, how stoked are you to be on the outside here, and what successful move do you need to make to get around Chance Manning?
Well, you see, for Chance Manning, you've got the opportunity to get the throttle quicker than everybody else, so I have to worry about getting penalized. So you've got that advantage in your cap already. Now you've given him the opportunity to take that dog leg and cut it, so you can really build a big margin coming into 1 and 2. Starting P1, you definitely want to go for the bottom, but if you're, you know, 3rd place, 4th place, further back at the pack, you want the top, because you want to be able to shotgun around these guys. But for the leader, you know, they dance to the tune of their own drum most weeks.
All right, well, let's see if he does that and how well that dance goes, or if Wesley Triplett can step on in and excuse himself and take the lead here. But let's find out. Coming back around to the O'Reilly restart zone, and Green Flag gets back out with 18 to go.
Yeah, good clean launch for Manning. Going all the way down to the bottom here, like I said he was going to. Going to build a huge positive into 1 and 2. A couple cars tagging the fence. A little bit of off-center 3-wide action through the field. And a couple doors being thrown, too.
Yeah, I saw Barmagolo tag the fence. I saw some 3-wides. There's another car back in the field tagging the fence.
Oh, heavy block from Barkley, and he gets a shot on the rear. Coming into 3 and 4 off the nose of the machine of Austin Collins. Collins chasing him up the hill.
There's McKinney now shooting the dog leg. He wants to get back involved. They'll be 3 wide of McKinney in the bottom. Contact up top. They're going to be okay. McKinney shoots right on through.
17 laps to go. These guys driving like it's 3. McKinney taking the advantage. Nance tagging the fence heavy out of turn 4, and a huge block into 3. And Barkley ships him and sends him head on into the fence for McKinney.
Wow, McKinney just made contact with someone else as well. And that's going to end the night for McKinney, if not too many more people. Cautions out. 16 to go. Caleb McKinney has ended his night about 16 miles earlier than he wanted to.
Stage 1 winner.
That was getting wild. You can see all the blocks being thrown. You can see the aggression. And look, McKinney came down, and there might be a debate on if what the move is, but let's watch it here.
You see Barkley goes to the bottom. McKinney tries to block it. Barkley's already there, and you know, he tries to get off him, then coming into 3 and 4, he just says, you know what, I'm not taking that.
And Justin Barkley said, I'll take blame for it. I don't know if it is Barkley's to take blame. Not every racing incident has a fault. Watch this again. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, no, you're right. It's the old Zombieland rule. It's the double tap. That's what got you.
Yep.
The single tap would have been okay. It's the double tap that'll kill you.
I mean, these guys getting frustrated now too. You know, they've been running this entire race. Just, you know, feels like you can't get anything done. You get a good run coming off the corner. You try to set yourself up.
Watch this from Puffenberger. I think he's going to catch a stray here. Watch this. Nowhere to go. Puffenberger is also done liquid.
One of the many reasons too why, you know, penalty did have to get thrown there. Cause, you know, you get other guys thrown up into this mess. Puffenberger didn't do anything wrong there. Just victim of circumstance. It's a real shame. Put together a really good race tonight. Just pit strategy kind of got behind him there.
I mean, even I want to go back to the topic though, and I know I kind of jokingly blame the double tap on Barkley, but I mean, even from Barkley's point of view, with 14 to go, you know.
I mean, if you're Barkley too, you know, you go to give the bumper, and I don't think Barkley thought that he'd pushed him hard enough for that much of a snap.
Watch it again. Here's the first tap right there. There's the second. The second tap just sends him deep in the corner, and then he goes pirouetting around and hits Puffenbarger before coming to a stop.
I mean, there's two solutions for that story. You know, if you're,
I think I know one of them.
If you're Barkley, you just, you know, lay off, try again. But if you're McKinney,
don't throw the block.
You don't throw a block that, because it was pretty heavy block.
That's what I agree with. Here's the choose cone, by the way. Or watching what happened when they went around the choose cone. But I agree with that. I agree with that more wholeheartedly. I think that at some point, you know, we joked during the broadcast about the whole you're responsible for the nose of your car that your auto insurance uses in real life. But here in iRacing, I don't know. That's a tough block to throw and not expect something.
It's case by case, and a block like that, that late into the corner, you know. And
I agree.
You don't want to have it happen, but you know it'll happen.
Yep. Well, here we go. 13 to go at the line as Chance Manning, Wesley Triplett, Jonathan Nance up in your top three. Let's get on around here. We're also now still 3 wide at the line. Through the dog leg, we're 4 wide in Phoenix.
Manning with the advantage, pulling away from the field here, just trying to get it done for a handful more laps. A little bit of side-by-side action further in the back. Barbagallo grabs the quarter panel of the 8 machine, and one car goes around further.
At the 24?
At the 24?
Wow. That's Nicholas Barton right there. Just turned around, finally getting moving. He made contact, I think, with Ryan Fleck. That's one of those, the black with the yellow teammate card. Watch it again here. Let's see who causes what. That's Fleck just under him. Oh, I couldn't tell from that angle. See if we can get a better angle. I don't know if you saw anything there, Sheldon, that was definitive, but I couldn't tell if they made contact or if. So let's see what happens here. Oh, yep.
Looked like he just turned down the hill a little bit.
I thought maybe the 9 kind of. I thought maybe if the 9 got in the back quarter panel, but it's hard to tell what happened first. I think it's the problem. Watch it one more time here. There's a big launch.
The 20. I think the 24 thought that he was closer to the wall than he actually was. And I think that Fleck thought that there was more room there than there actually was.
I agree with that.
That's classic.
I agree with that.
That's classic Phoenix. That's
I agree with that.
Racing deal.
Pretty accurate. Well, after this restart, sorry.
I wouldn't. That's one of them where I wouldn't throw fault at either driver. It's just, you know, it's what happens when you get to the end of these things and everybody's trying. You know, everybody's fighting for the same real estate. And eventually, get a hostile takeover.
Ryan Fleck has claimed fault for that. He will take the end of line penalty for that. So when we go green now, we'll be down into the single digits of laps here. So we're going to be. If you thought it was intense before, if you thought people were impatient before, if you thought that it was amped up, if you will, before, it's only going to get worse. Ooh. Well,
I'll say one thing. This night has, you know, I mentioned earlier that the strategies and the calls, you know, it feels like they always end up biting Chance Manning on the tail.
Yep.
But it looks like tonight, I think the only thing that can take him out of this at this point is himself.
Yep, it'll be him. By the way, a pretty quick night overall. I know United because we've bullet pinned this track before when we've been here what feels like forever. We're a good number of cautions in, but we're just barely an hour and a half into the broadcast here. So we're probably about an hour and 10 minutes into racing here. So overall, a pretty quick race. I mean, I knock on wood, we're not done. Why I said it out loud, but overall, a pretty nice pace to this race here.
That's pretty good. I mean, you know, laps wind down pretty quick here at Phoenix. See the pace car dive down.
I still go back to, I just said earlier, I still go back to those days when you could launch right here. Those were some crazy days when the field could launch right here and just kind of start right there.
Having a 15-car pileup before we finished lap 0 was always fun. A lot of cool scoring glitches.
Yeah,
we used to get back in the day here.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, that's a very true statement. All right, well, let's see if we can get this finished up here. We'll be 9 to go with the line. It'll be Chance Manning, Wesley Triplett, Barbagallo leading in your top 3.
Chance Manning through the gears quick. Now taking the cut. Barbagallo all over the back bumper. It's fanning out, trying to take away the spot into 1 and 2 from the 74 machine of Triplett.
Barbagallo's clear for 2.
Got it here. Yes, he does. Barbagallo moves up to P2.
Now to put Triplett back there with Nance and Forns. Forns quietly made his way to the front.
Oh,
and
Nance
just
is
made
around
contact.
off his nose.
They're good.
And he saved it.
They're not yet. Oh, there's the problem.
Oh, yep.
See
Nance
that coming, and caution is out. Boy, Matt Forns had it saved, but I can just tell with how slow he was in the track there. There was just no way that that wasn't going to end up bad.
Now, why'd you talk about those two? You started that.
Well, talk about what two?
Talk about, you literally just mentioned Nance
Forns
and
having
Forns.
Yeah, well, you know.
And then they went and wrecked. That's your
That's
fault.
on them.
That's
No.
on you.
No.
That's commentator jinx right there. I
That's
know that
not
one,
a
buddy.
thing.
Yeah,
Watch it again here. There's Forns. I mean, and that's a hard one too. I don't know. I've watched it a couple times, and there's the problem though. There's all the contact in the back, but you know, did Nance come down? Did Forns come up? There's a lot of questions you can answer here, and I don't know. By the way, after this race is over, stay tuned here on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take you over to the On My Screen Racing League, and Nolan Rimple and I think Jacob Kohler are out there right now, and they're also under caution at Rockingham. So
Hey.
they're under caution at Rockingham. Two separate thoughts there.
Lap 3.
Lap 3. So they're just getting started. So we're going to take you over there
That's
at the conclusion of this race.
That's pretty on brand for, Rockingham.
Rockingham? Yeah, I was going to say. It's supposed to be green flag. Oh boy, hello. a little Olympic hockey style hip check right there. If you know, that's gonna be at least a 2-minute penalty, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, I have yet to have the opportunity, but I am really excited to try out the new asphalt at Rockingham when the when the Busch Series goes there in a couple months.
Boy, I can't wait not to do that. I think that track is horrible.
I'm excited to try it out. I love Rockingham in all forms. Same way with Kentucky. Loved the old bumpy layout.
Love Kentucky.
A lot of success there. Everybody griped about the repave, and I griped about it too. Then I ran 2 races there and won, and I was like, "Well, this is pretty neat too. I like it here."
While we're telling iRacing stories, you remember the year of Kentucky when on pit road there was something wrong with the lights and like every third pit stall was lit? Do you remember that year, or does that ring a bell to you? That like one of the years we were in Kentucky NIS that all pit road wasn't as lit as the rest of it. That's my memory of Kentucky. It's like someone didn't pay the light bill.
And then the next year, iRacing just bumped the lighting up like crazy. It feels like the most brightly lit track on the service.
Yeah, next to Daytona, probably. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
And honestly, it feels like I want to say
a
like
surgeon's
somewhere around
table.
2019, 2018. It feels like all the night tracks got darker for some reason.
Certainly. All right.
Blind us, please.
Well, what got darker are the lights on top of the pace car. They're off, which means we're back to 1 to go. It's Manning, Barbagallo, Triplett, Grasso, and Justin Barkley up to P5, by the way. So let's see how this plays out here. Can the multicolor machine get her on around Chance Manning? Can Manning hold the lead? Will someone surprise us? This is our last, I believe, actual restart without overtime needed. Welcome in here on Green Flag TV, Derek Watson, Sheldon Atkins, Dustin Nollins pushing the buttons, making us look and sound good down in the production booth. Here we go. Get ready. Chance Manning's on the pedal right about now. And we're back to Green Flag Racing. Pretty typical there to see the big jump from the leader. No surprise here. Parking off a pit road, out of the way, barely. And Manning is now up front, but is side by side for P2 on behind him.
Yeah, Triplett does not want to give up this second place finish here up to the door of the 77 machine. And here comes the one of Grasso making it 3. He thinks better of it, though.
Ooh, buddy, that was almost a repeat of last time. Car spinning in the back.
And Triplett sends it in.
Barkley caught it. But that's going to make him frustrated. 3 to go at the line, by the way. 3 laps to go at Phoenix. Right now, the leader's walking away at Manning. But he's got Triplett, he's got Barbagallo, and he's got Grasso trying to run him down. 2.5 laps now. Watch real quick what happened to Barkley here. That white and blue car in the middle of your screen got contact from one of those cars. And that's why he was frustrated. But here we go, 2 to go at the line.
Just 2 more laps for Manning, man.
You start to say, oh, hold on. Here's Triplet. Triplet, part of me, is going to try and make this work. He does not quite get there, but he closed a lot of gap on this lap here.
I'll tell you what, with that being Chance Manning up there on the point, if you're Triplet, you're probably going to have to get the elbows out here and use that chrome horn because Manning is not going to give that up.
1 to go. No caution. We'll race it back around. White flag for the NASCAR Racing Series. Chance Manning gets a humongous dive in. Triplet sends it deep. Makes contact. Oh, my God. Huge contact. And Triplet's going to get up under. He's going to make the pass, and he's around Manning on the back.
This ain't over. This is not
Manning's
over.
Going to send it in. Manning's going to return the favor, and he missed. Manning up on the wall.
No, they both hit the fence.
Checker flag is out. Whoa. And I think Dominic Barbagallo just walked away with that win.
They're still wrecking.
Yeah, there's some words being exchanged that are not fit for internet TV. Watch this here. This is Triplet. He's going to send it into Manning.
I think that's just a little much.
Yeah, so does Manning, by the way. And Manning's going to get a small tap from Barbagallo. And then Manning's just going to send it right back in here. I thought at first, I thought Manning missed. Nope, did not miss. That was a field goal right to the upright. And then Barbagallo won, and Grasso gets by.
Oh, and Manning I think Manning beat him across the line there, too.
I think I have it. Let's find out. I think I have Triplet and Manning by 1/10 of a second or so. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
How about that?
Well, Dominic Barbagallo gets to celebrate. Let's not take that away from him and that bright, multicolored machine.
I hate to say it, but what is this, our 4th week of upset in a row here?
It's at least a 4th different winner, if I do recall correctly.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the drivers have been an upset, but you weren't. Barbagallo didn't lead anything tonight until it mattered.
He tried to find Victory Road, and he missed an obstacle there. So I think that's probably going to end that run. Is he still going to try to get up to victory lane? Let's find out. This is one of those tracks where you can do it now. But let's run through our official results as they stand out. I'm gonna clarify these are unofficial, as I think there's some post-race reviews coming. Dominic Barbagallo is in first. That I think we're all agreement on. Joshua Grasso is in second. That's probably fair to say. Here's where the problem comes. Triplet's in third. Manning's in fourth. Hernandez is in fifth. Then it's Collins, Forens, Gervey, Nance, and Barton through your top 10.
And bringing it home in P11 here tonight is going to be the 57 machine of Justin Barkley after coming back from a late race EOL. Brian White comes home 12th in the 18 machine, followed by the 84 Wayne Garland, Ryan Fleck in 14th. 15th place going to Dennis Kane with White Walker in 16th over Joshua Neal in 17th. 18th place going to Brandon Bogowski, followed by Ed Brown and Nicholas Emmons round out the top 20.
Back in P21, you'll find Ryan Walker 12 laps down. These guys did not finish the race. Puffenberger, McKinney, Beacom, Walker, and then Peebles and Austin Smith round out a 27-car field. And
before we move on here, you're talking about potential reviews and everything there on the finishing order. I think they self-policed it pretty well between the two of them. I think just let them run.
We'll see. I don't know if that's going to be the official stance. We'll find out. I don't want to say that. I see your points, but the league admins may not want that system in place.
You definitely maybe throw an EOO next week or something. But
something. Yeah, we'll wait
for both of them because they're both pretty dirty on that one. Yeah,
a little bit dirty. I'm waiting, and there's also some words exchanged post race that may affect those penalties that may be 4 letters in length. Post race as well. Wait to see if our leader was going to join us on our victory lane here and see if we can get word with him. Wait and see if Dominic Barbagallo, there he is, I believe that's Triplet. Let's do this. Let's start with P2 because they are available, and I believe at this point that Joshua Grasso has caught up with Soden Atkins.
And Daytona win earlier in the season and bringing it home after a wild night at Phoenix, but ran top 5, top 3 all night long. Josh, just tell me about your race, man, because it looked like a great one for you up here in the booth.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Going 2 laps down, speeding penalty, and then ending up second. A lot of luck. that race.
It was definitely a night of hard work, and it's certainly paying off for you as you stretch out a great position in the point standings here right now. And talk to me about the early race cautions. How'd the cars feel out there tonight? It looked like everybody was just a little bit on edge.
Yeah, with this new 750 package, they're a bit squirrely in the corners, especially on the exits. So I think everybody was kind of getting used to it in race conditions, but started to mellow down as the race went on.
So outside that, looked like a textbook Phoenix. Looked like passing was a premium that nobody could necessarily afford. Do you feel like the 750 and the new tire kind of help with that, or did it make it a little bit worse maybe?
It seems pretty similar. It's the same track and everything, but it just makes a little bit more driver skill on exit because you can loop it a little bit easier.
Well, with the great finish here this evening, how are you feeling about the possibilities going into next week? Because it looks like you got a little bit of momentum on the side.
I'm feeling pretty good. Gotten some good points finishes all season, so looking forward to the chase.
Big fan of Homestead?
I am.
Well, look forward to seeing what you're capable of next week and round all out here tonight. Who all do you want to thank and shout out for the second place finish?
I just want to shout out Jonathan Nance. I know he didn't have the race he wanted to, and he was running pretty good pace all race.
Oh man, thanks for stepping up here and chatting with us tonight. Looking forward to seeing what you do next week at Homestead. And I want to hand it on back over to Derek with our race winner, 77 Machine to Barbagallo.
Let's go to welcome moment in. Let's welcome it into victory lane here in 2026. The driver to 77, that bright multicolored machine. He finally found his way to victory road. Dominic Barbagallo, how does it feel to be a race winner?
I don't feel like I won.
Okay.
I don't feel
Fair
like
enough.
it.
Obviously a wild finish. I think there's going to be some controversy, some opinions, some moods about that finish. But what was your perspective of what was happening as you come through the back straight there?
I could just feel it happening. It was gonna happen. I just felt it. I just felt it. I knew something was gonna happen.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're as surprised as anyone to see you came around first after those two made contact. As we look ahead in the schedule, the Homestead, I believe, is next on the schedule. What is your comfort level, your experience, or your happiness with Homestead?
I'm gonna be in Daytona. I don't know if I'm gonna make that race.
Fair enough.
What's the next one after?
I don't know. I want to say it's a super speedway. I may be wrong. I can look in a second. Hold on.
Old Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's see. Here's our schedule. We're at Phoenix tonight. Homestead. Yeah, Echo Park is in 2 weeks.
I feel good. I feel good there. The bumpy track. I'm good with bumpy tracks. Not really with this car. This car bottoms out because of the glaring carbon fiber floor that it has. But I can deal with it.
All right. Well, listen. Well, I know it may not be the way you wanted it to happen, but the record books will reflect you are the winner here tonight. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, say hello to?
Caleb McKinney, good job. I love you, Caleb. Who else? There was this. What's his name? I'm forgetting names now. I'm so sorry. Matt Forns.
Yep.
Great driver. He did pretty good. I wish Eric could race today. He wasn't here, unfortunately. He'd be happy. Honestly, shout out to Wesley and Chance for having a little crash out. That's the only reason I won. But thank you guys.
You might be the only happy person about that, for the record.
Oh, I am. I am the only happy person about it.
All right, listen. Well, it was a pleasure watching your race, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Echo Park.
Have a good night.
All right, that's Dominic Barbagallo. And now I think, Sheldon, you're going to catch up with P3.
This will be fun.
I can't move him. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't move either.
Okay, we might need some help with that in a second from admin. There we go. Wesley Triplett is going to catch up with Sheldon Atkins.
And after a topsy-turvy night here from Phoenix, sitting here with third place finisher Wesley Triplett, and a daring move coming to the white flag. Well, talk me through it, man. It was I haven't seen that much excitement up here in the booth in a while.
Man, look, it ain't even no like trying to be nasty. I ain't gonna say nothing nasty about nobody. I ain't like that. But all I'm gonna say is I wanted to try my own hand at a little bump and run. I felt like it was performed at least in okay fashion. It wasn't perfect, but it worked, and he wasn't happy. So, I guess we can't do that. I don't know. We'll see what admin says, but
I give you a 10 out of 10 on the bump. Clean shot up the track. Would have worked a little bit faster in center than I would recommend. I think the run part is what we need to do a little bit of studying and research on. You didn't get that. That was about a 3 out of 10 there.
It's he's mad as hell, but I figured we was all adults and just having fun right there because we got a long season. Me and him both know that we're gonna be fast in some races, so I figured it was fun in games, but he did not see it like I did. That's okay. On to the next race.
Outside of the exciting finish, just talk to me about the race tonight, what you felt in the car, how much fun was it, or not fun? Was it to be at Phoenix? Some people have their different tastes.
Man, so for the first 3/4 of the race, it seemed like just all the momentum, all the speed, everything was up top. Like I groove up from where I had practiced, so I was just out the loop. It felt like. And I was, running down low. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm saving right front. I'm finna get these guys later in the run, and they just never came to me. I never had an advantage. That fooled me. But then, right there on that last stretch, I don't know if I just, started feeling pressure and was like, all right, I gotta go if I'm gonna go. And then the car actually held it. I don't know if y'all seen it, but there at the end, I was hauling the mail, He'd get the jump on me, and I still managed to get side by side with him. I felt like I was fast at the end, but every other lap besides the last few laps, I felt like I didn't have nothing for nobody.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm still learning this next gen. I don't really know this car well at all. So we'll take everything and go back to the lab, I guess. If they don't kick both of us out, we'll see.
Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail on that because you guys both put together a really good show to finish things off here tonight. And I mean, week in, week out, you guys are some of the more exciting drivers to keep our eyes on. But with all that, just did it feel much different what we have here with the current tire, current engine package, or is it just same? Because we've heard it's a little bit same from Grosso earlier.
I don't have a previous experience to really, you know what I'm saying, judge what the car was running or what this package and all does now. This is my first time running a next gen car, for a league, for a season, for really anything. I don't even really mess with them much in officials. So what you're seeing for me is me just trying to copy what I would be doing in an Xfinity car. And it kind of works sometimes, and then it kind of don't. I'm still learning. So as far as giving you details on differences in packages, I'm
You're
sorry,
right,
I ain't
man.
got much.
Rookie stripes, we got it. But with all that, how you feeling? Looking forward to Homestead next week. I will warn you, Dirty Air is going to be a nightmare.
I have ran a couple officials in the next gen at Homestead, 1 or 2. I managed to get a dub out of one of them. I mean, I love Homestead. It's my favorite. Next to Old Atlanta, them are my 2 favorite tracks on the sim. So feeling okay around it or about Homestead. I can rip the top or get good speed on the bottom. It just depends on where the momentum's at for that race. Will be where I'm trying to be at, I guess.
Well, Wesley, thank you for coming up here and talking to us. Congratulations on the podium finish. And to round all out, who I would you like to thank and shout out for the top 3 performance this evening?
Yep. Think shout out to admins picking up the slack. I think Austin Smith was working some admin stuff, and then he had to leave, and Puff picked up the slack and was calling out the chews and clearing blacks and stuff. So appreciate the admins working. Appreciate Corey, you know, as always, my dad putting this on, and you guys. I know y'all do a tremendously good broadcast. It's always fun to watch back, and team showed up. I think everybody raced, maybe except for Peebles. That's always good. Have some teammates on the track to talk to. Appreciate them coming, and appreciate everybody watching and racing. Shout out to Chance for really punishing me for trying to move. I guess I deserve that. It's all right, everybody. It's all good. It's just a race to me. I'm not mad at nobody. So.
Well, congratulations on winning across the line there for P3. Wild finish. Great night here from Phoenix. I'm going to hand it on back over to Derek Watson to lead us out.
Well, before we do that, we're going to grab one more. I think it's fair we give both drivers a chance to kind of talk about their perspective of what happens. I'm going to quickly grab Chance Manning. Chance, we're live. So walk me through. You're leading with one to go. I'm just going to let you walk me through it. What's your perspective on what happens?
Well, first off, I had a bad fast Hollow Valley Chevrolet. Sequential Sim Sport, as always, gives me a great car. The restarts, first off, were really frustrating. Getting through just restart after restart, and Wesley and Dominic both inside, outside, and trying to just hold off the challenge. But going into that final corner, second to final corner, Wesley just does what Wesley does and overdrives the car and doesn't really respect, at least me. I don't know how he races other people in the same way, but I know he doesn't respect me on the track, so I think the same will be said going forward for him.
So I think my next question answers itself, which is that you feel that he called it, I'll say now, in the interview, he called it a bump and run. I'm going to guess you're going to describe it differently than a bump and run.
I think this situation is way closer to a Austin Dillon Richmond situation than it is a Dale Earnhardt Bristol type situation. I don't really have a whole lot more than that to say about it, but
Your move in retaliation, would that be a bump and run?
One more time, I'm sorry?
I said your move in retaliation in 3 and 4. Are we going to call that a bump and run, or are we going to call that something deeper?
No, I just locked up the brakes, got in there too hard.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, P4 tonight is how you finish tonight. Obviously, you've a driver that seems to run up front a lot. Maybe not always the finishes you want out of, but next week we go to Homestead. What's the outlook for Homestead?
I do like Homestead a lot. I do know that Wesley is a beast at Homestead, so I know we'll all be contending with him. But just excited. I got a whole week to wait now to get back on the track, and it's going to be nerve-wracking the whole time. But I appreciate you all. I appreciate all the fans for watching, and hope everybody has a good night.
All right, buddy. Well, it's a pleasure talking to you, and we'll see you next week at Homestead.
Thank you so much, Derek.
All right, that is Chance Manning. And that'll wrap up our interviews for this evening. Once again, I want to congratulate Dominic Barbagallo. He says he didn't feel like a winner, but the stat book will show that he is. Well, stay tuned. As we said, after this, we're going to feed you right over to the OMSRL race at Rockingham with Nolan Rimple and Jacob Kohler on the call over there. Sheldon, any last thoughts on the race tonight?
We've already talked all we can about the race, but I will say one thing. I've noticed that based on the interviews we've had here tonight, I think that's two of our biggest personalities here in the field, and it's going to be interesting to see the sparks that fly when we go to Homestead, and it's just going to be interesting to see what those two drivers are capable of moving out here through the rest of the season. Triplett and Manning, both two incredibly talented drivers here in the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, and look, I'm going to grab the popcorn. I'm excited to see what happens next. How about you, Derek?
I'll be watching along. Marty Sakala will be back in the call next week as series regular commentator. So we'll look forward to that. But for tonight, it's time to say goodbye. For Dustin Olives, our producer, for Sheldon Atkins, I am Derek Watson saying so long and good night from the desert.